Well, hello there. This is a other side of the ball news brief, or we can call this breaking news, but nonetheless, welcome. Early morning here on a Friday. This is Double A Anthony Alvarez coming to you live from the control center, and we've got some information that we want to share with you because there's been questions, there's been speculations. What is the playoff format? How is this going to be? How is this all going to come about? Well, sit back, relax, take some notes, and here we go with the format for the playoffs in 2024 for the A7FL. Again, this is a special news bulletin coming to you by way of the other side of the ball. So, with that said, let's get to it. All right. So, you've been asking, what's the matchups? How's it going to come? What's the seeding? Well, I'm glad you asked because here we go. All right, so if you can see on the screen, here's what we got. Now, it will be all 6 Vegas teams will make the local playoffs. It'll be the 1 versus 6, the 2 versus 5, and the 3 versus 4. The Vegas winners will be the 1, 2, and 4 seeds in the West Final Four. Those matchups will take place on Sunday, June the 9th at Matter Academy East here in Las Vegas. Now, here's the West Final Four. The top Vegas team will be the number 1 seed. The Midwest winner will travel here to Las Vegas and be the number 2 seed. The remaining Vegas teams will be the 3rd and the 4th seed. Now, remember, here in Vegas, the top 3 teams will qualify for the playoffs. So, with that said, the Vegas number 1 seed will play the Vegas 4 seed and the 2 seed. The Midwest champion will play the number 3 seed. So, if the West Final Four was decided today based on the seeding, here is what the matchups would be. In the 1 p.m. time frame, it's the number 1 seed, Sickwood, taking on the 2022 Nevada Division champions, the Las Vegas Force, as the 4 seed. Then in the 4 p.m. slot, it's a rematch of last year's conference championship of the West between the Cincinnati Chaos and the defending national champions, the Las Vegas Insomniacs. Now, once the West is won in Ohio on July the 7th, we come to the Final Four. It'll be the number 1 seed from the West, whomever that may be, will take on the number 2 seed from the East, whomever that may be. And on the flip side, the number 1 seed from the East, whomever that may be, will take on the number 2 seed from the West, whomever that will be. So, hypothetically speaking, if we're going to base it on today's rankings, right now as it would stand, the number 1 in the West would be Sickwood. They would take on the number 2 in the East, which would be the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Tampa Nightcrawlers. And then it would be the Chaos or the Insomniacs would take on the number 1 from the East, which would be the Trenton PIC, or as I like to say, the Trenton Brothers in Christ. So, what does that all mean? Let's try to put it into layman's terms. Are they crazy? So, here's what can happen. You can have an All-East championship game, or you can have an All-West championship game. So you could get Nightcrawlers versus BIC. You could get the matchup some people have been wanting to see, the Insomniacs against BIC. Or it could be the Chaos versus BIC, or the Chaos versus the Nightcrawlers, or the Insomniacs versus the Nightcrawlers again. Or you get BIC against Sick With It. Or you can get for all the marbles for the championship. You could get part 2 of the Insomniacs and Sick With It for all the marbles. That will take place, the championship game, to culminate the 10th season of the A7FL. That will take place July the 21st in Ohio. So, did you get all that? Was that too much to ask for? Did you write it down? Did you take a picture? Did you screenshot it? So, if you want to start this from scratch, we'll do this one more time. But here we go again. So, from the top, starting with right here. So once again, 6 teams will make the playoffs. 1 versus 6, 2 versus 5, 3 versus 4. The Vegas winner will be the 1, 2, and 4 seed in the West Final Four. That takes place June the 9th at Matter Academy East here in Las Vegas. Now, again, the Final Four. The top Vegas team will be the number 1 seed. The Midwest winner will travel to Las Vegas to be the number 2 seed. And the remaining 3 teams from the Vegas division will be 3 and 4. So, the number 1 seed in Vegas will play the number 4 seed. The 2 seed will be the Midwest champion. They'll play the 3 seed. So, again, if it's based on today, right now, hypothetically, your first match will be Sick With It and the Force, as these two will meet again for the second straight year in the playoffs, in which Sick With It won last year 27-25. Then, the rematch of last year's Western Conference Championship between the Cincinnati Chaos and the defending national champions, the Las Vegas Insomniacs. Now, the Final Four will be held July 7th in Ohio. And there you see the seeds. West number 1 versus East number 2. East number 1 versus West number 2. Now, hypothetically speaking, if it's based on today's rankings, you would get Sick With It against the defending Eastern Conference champions, the Nightcrawlers, and then you'll get either the Chaos or the Insomniacs, whoever wins that matchup between the Chaos and the Insomniacs, against the Trenton Brothers in Christ, the BIC. What does it all mean? So, here's what can happen. You can have a Tampa Nightcrawlers and a BIC championship game. You could have a Chaos versus Sick With It championship game. Or you could have a Sick With It versus Insomniacs championship game. All that will be decided as we culminate the 10th anniversary season of the A7FL. That will take place July 21st in Ohio. So hopefully that explains everything and gives you a better understanding of the seedings. So we hope you enjoy this little brief announcement that we brought to you here via the other side of the ball. Hopefully you took notes. Hopefully that gives you a better understanding. And hopefully it'll make the playoffs all that more exciting. From all of us here at the other side of the ball, I'm AA Anthony Alvarez, and we now return you to your regular scheduled programming.